What's up, everybody? Remington from Impulse Creative, and today we're going to change things up a little bit. Today we're going to talk about conversational marketing and how it might be uncomfortable for your business, but there's 3 things that you need to know if you're jumping in. So you have to reset your brain in regards to how you think about marketing in general when you start incorporating conversational. When you're thinking about conversational marketing, it's no longer the normal funnel. It's no longer those life cycle stages that are very, very well defined based on data. It can be, but in a lot of cases, you're going to be initiating in a live chat or you're going to be having conversations, and it is heavily, heavily reliant on strategy where your chatbots are in the buying process. But it's also very, very important to understand the context of that chat. The beauty of live chat is there is a lot of opportunity, and in a lot of cases, there can be a lot of missed marks if you don't do it right. So what you have to do is you have to train your people to understand how it's different. And while it's uncomfortable, it can vastly increase the speed of your sales cycle. So, number 1, live chat can feel like a blind date. Marketing is now defined by the consumer, and it's no longer the marketer who's in control. And what I mean by that is currently, or traditionally, dare I call it, when a form is submitted, you get all of the information that's in the tool. So if you want to ask 5 different things about that prospect and you mark them all as required, when a lead fills out that form, they're going to give you all of that information. And as a marketer, you are in control of that transaction. The issue with live chat, and it's really not an issue once you learn to embrace it, is that you're not getting that information from the get-go. Sure, you might have the context of where that live chat came up, but what you have to do as a live chat operator is you have to focus on leading with value and going through some kind of an internal process to qualify that prospect, while at the same time being gracious and helping them out with their problem. I recommend highly that you end with asking for email and other information, because while that prospect might bounce out of your website while you're having that conversation, if you're leading with that value, you just gave them something that they need. And most live chat tools, especially ones like Drift, will allow for that conversation to continue if they come back to the website. And then the last piece for this is, if it smells like a form, then it is a form. And I think the first thing that people do when they think about chatbots or they think about form widgets is thinking about, I need to get those 5 things that were in my form from this prospect. And they usually think about it in the order that the form would normally be. And what I mean by that is, think about one of the forms on your website. You probably have first name, last name, company name, and email, right? And then you go into phone number. And the very last question is usually what gives you more context. How can I help you today? Or what's your biggest marketing problem? And while those are all really important things, you've got to lead with what's your biggest marketing problem, and then gradually get the other information that is a lot harder for someone to connect with. Because if you just go through and you ask, oh, what's your name? What's your email address? Suddenly, they didn't fill out the form on your website because they wanted to talk to a human, and then you're turning into a robot. So think about that. It'll highly increase the effectiveness of your live chat. Number 2, live chat is not an audience builder. And what I mean by that is you're going to run into scenarios where your operations team or your C-suite is telling you to get more traffic. Live chat is not the answer to getting more traffic, but what it is the answer to is increasing the conversions of the traffic that you already have. And so that changes how you think about using live chat, because it goes back to number 1, that you have to change how you think about asking for information. But when we think about it not being an audience builder, the opportunity there is leveraging that one-on-one conversation. And if you think about how and where you can have those one-on-one conversations to be the most effective for your company, that's where the magic starts to happen. So you can also make sure that you hyper target your messages. And so with tools like Drift, you can jump in and you can target a specific UTM parameter. And I've got a video about that right here. Or you could target a specific page or call to action with a Drift link. And I've got that video right here. But what you want to do is figure out how you can cater your live chat pop-up or your chat bot to focus on speaking to one individual. You're the person that matters in this equation if you're the prospect. And what you have to do is make it so that the live chat or the chat bot makes it feel that way. And number 3, probably one of the most important ones, is understanding where prospects are in the buying process. Now, this happens in 2 ways. One is it's the contextual side of it. Where is this person actually chatting? Are they hitting us on our homepage and asking us a quick question? That could be a user experience issue, right? Maybe they don't have the information and they can't find it. The other one is, how are these people asking questions and where do those questions fit into the matrix of the buyer's journey? And there'll be more about that coming soon. Right? But if we have these informations about people in the awareness stage all the way through to the decision stage, are they asking about why your product matters or how a feature of your product would be? Or are they asking you about the price so that they can purchase? You have to be able to identify and not hold information hostage in order to provide value. So think about that. You need to ask yourself what questions you would ask to qualify that person if they were on the phone. Live chat is a new medium, but it's still the same prospect on the other side. So if you're picking up the phone and someone asks you a question, in most cases, you're going to answer that question on the phone naturally and then follow up with asking for your contact information. Live chat or chatbots should be no different. Number 2, what pages do you expect that they're looking at? If we're trying to identify where people are in the buying process and they initiate a live chat on our pricing page, they're obviously much further along in the buying process because they're already looking at cost, for instance. So without even having to ask these prospects the question about where they are in the buying process, you'd never want to do that. You can start to identify on things they do say and things that they do on your website. The next one is what problems is the prospect having that caused them to even initiate the chat in the first place? And this is something that marketing can really take home after the chat is even done, right? What question or what are they looking to an answer for? And why isn't it mentioned on your website in the first place, right? Is it their problem that they have that they just are lazy and they don't want to look for it, which is totally fine? Or is it a problem that your website doesn't address that concern? So the great thing about these chat transcripts, if you have a couple really great questions that a prospect goes, grab that question, throw it in Slack or some other tool and get that information to marketing right away. You also want to make sure that you're identifying questions for your team as the marketer, as the strategist that's putting this together. Create some kind of guidelines or rails that tells the team the kinds of questions to look out for throughout the buyer's journey. You're going to want to know how chat qualified this lead is. And are they super qualified because they're asking questions about price? Or are they asking more questions about features or benefits? You can kind of understand where they are and start adding more value depending on where they're at. So those are my thoughts around thinking about conversational marketing. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you think that I missed anything, hit me up in the comments, let me know what's going on, and I'd love to continue the conversation. If you need some help with conversational marketing, Impulse Creative is here to help people grow their companies, and live chat or Drift or any conversational marketing tool is the absolute way to make that happen for your company. So reach out to Impulse Creative where we will get rolling for you right away. If you're interested in other tutorials we've done, you can go ahead and you can do that here. And if you'd like to subscribe to our daily videos, you can go ahead and do this here. Until next time, I'm Remington from Impulse Creative. Have a great day.